Hello and welcome to the 114th episode of the But I'm Knitting podcast. My name is Ramona. I'm a knitter from Toronto and welcome to my corner of the crafting world. So for this many consecutive week, I'm doing real good on the schedule thing. Let's see, today I have finished objects. I have no works in progress to show, or do I? No, I do have a work in progress to show, as I think I showed off the other part before. And, oh, so that's all three. So I'd start that again. I got a finished object, I got a work in progress, and I have a new cast on. Plus I have stash enhancement. I've got everything this week. It's amazing how that worked. All right, so let's go with the finished object. Okay, so I finished pair number, is this 3? 1, 2. I think this is pair number 3 for the summer sock camp. Hold on, move that up a little bit. Got a bit bunchy. Yep, I finished pair number 3 for the sock for the summer sock club. I'm like losing it. So, or did I show this last week? No, I don't think I showed off the finished object last week because I remember I did these one at a time. It took me a while to remember. So yeah. So let's start this. So then last time you had seen, I had finished the first sock and now I finished off the second. Last time you had seen it, I was right about to put in the heel. So the heel is now put in. I used a shadow wrap heel and I finished off down the foot. And I'm coming to accept this. I still think it's too close, but I'm not pulling out the socks just because of that. That's just ridiculous. So that is one finished object. The yarn that I used for this was Area 51 Fibres. The colorway is called Christmas at the Movies. This was one of our Christmas bases, self-striping bases for last year. So it's finally done. I've had the yarn since last year, maybe November-ish, and that's when I was supposed to cast on, was probably for the month of December, and I didn't get around to it. So my reason for speeding through these was because I wanted to make sure my needles were free for, where is it? Sock Week 2021. However, I finished these on Thursday and I realized I still needed something to knit. So I cast on a new project and it's currently, it hasn't been touched since since Saturday. It's just waiting for me is pretty much what it is. So let me start by showing you. Yeah. So this is one of the skeins because she did them in, I think, in 250 gram skeins. So I'll just show the one that I'm currently working from right here. The yarn is from Area 51 Fibres again. This is Christmas with the Gilmores. So I had gotten them confused before. It wasn't until I looked up on Ravelry just to get a hint as to how the colors worked out. I realized I had gotten them mixed up. So there we go. This is it's a self-striping colorway. I'm still on the first sock for this one. I pretty much, yeah, as I said before, I put it down on Saturday because I wanted to make sure my needles were clear. But I'm loving the colors for this. Yeah, it's coming out quite well. So my only problem with it is that on Friday, when I had originally packed this up at the end of November, I had put in a black yarn. I don't know what made me think to put in black yarn. It's not a color I reuse very often except on my blanket. And then Friday, I had the audacity to complain about, oh my gosh, I hate this. Why am I working with dark yarn? Somebody asked me, are the needles light enough? Actually, yeah, they were. Do you have enough light? I was pretty much sitting in a darkened room, so no, there wasn't enough light. I had selected the color myself. So basically all of this is my own fault. So once I moved to an area with better light, it became easier and I finished it. So, but I do like this. So I'm not using my usual Xiaogu because I'm using them for my next project. So these are, I'm using higher sharps. They're a good alternative, just not my favorite. So yeah, I'm doing them again I'm pretty much doing the same pattern for all of these. These are on a size 0 US. I cast it on 64 stitches, 2x2 ribs, leg for about 60 rounds, put in a heel. which is either a fish lips kiss or a shadow wrap. And in this case, I'm a shadow wrap thing. Do 65 rows for my foot itself and then put in the toe. Kitchener sock is done. So there is that. So this is temporarily on hiatus until I finish my next pair of socks for the knit along. So Sunday morning was day 1 for the Sock Week 2021, a knit along hosted by Natalie from the Love and Stitches podcast, aka Nitty Natty. I had planned from before I was going to do it, and I'm doing it. So the yarn for this project is from, why is my mind like blank on me? Riverside Studios, in their Super Sock base in the colorway BERYL. So I'm doing them in tandem, so that's 2 socks at a time. For my contrast color, I'm using an orange yarn that I had dyed up myself. And here's where I am for both of them. I think I'm doing pretty good. I'm over halfway through the foot of each one, and since I'm doing that cuff down, that's like 75% of the way through each sock. I'm doing real good with them. I think at this rate, see, this one's about 40, just past 40 rows for the foot, right? Just past 40 rows. If I continue at this pace, I might be able to have this thing done by today or tomorrow. So that will free up my needles to work on something else. And I'm actually kind of looking forward to it. I am enjoying this. I am loving how the speckles are turning out. I think that is great. It goes along with my theme for any of my 1 week socks. I can't show you the other ones because they need to be washed. But like, they look like they were all meant to go together. I love it, right? So these were the ones that I did for the 1 week sock. This one was hosted, hold on. I can't remember exactly who hosted it, but I heard about it from Denise from Earth Tones Girl. But she was informing based on somebody else who was doing the knit along. I didn't do them to enter any kind of competition or anything. I just did them myself. So I'm finding that I'm liking them all being like that. So I will soon have one to add to my sock stash. So we're putting that down there. And I'm using the same recipe that I've been using for these, except I changed a little bit on the cuff by putting the, what I call my sporty stripes on it. That's everything for my works in progress. Wow, that was for all of my stuff that I actually knit for this week. That's actually pretty good. So I guess we'll go into our stash enhancements. Yeah. So the first one I'm going to tell you about is one of the stuff I was waiting for in the mail. This one is from Polka Dot Creek. They're from Alberta. Oh, I love this. So this is her classic sock. The colorway is called Coffee Shop, and it's a 75-25 superwash merino and nylon. It's 100 grams and 463 yards. So it's what I would call the standard for hand-dyed sock yarn. So this originally came vacuum sealed. I'll put up a picture of what it looked like when I got it in the mail. It came right when I was leaving on Friday. So I basically threw it in my bag and I took it with me and I ran off with it and I looked at it and my little flat packaging and just like, ooh, but I waited until I got back home before I actually opened up the packaging and, you know, did the twist and put the label on it. So I think I'm going to save this one for if I have another 1 week sock knitting thing for this year. I think it might go with the theme that I've got going for this year for that. I think every year I'm probably going to do a theme for this. Because I think it's going to end up being, if at this rate, maybe at least 4 pairs for like 1 week sock knitting for the year. We'll see. So I'm loving these colors. I've already seen more than I want to get. I think it was Dana Ray Knits on Instagram. She's the one who unintentionally let me know about this company. She has a lot, she makes a lot of socks and does a lot of stuff with mini skeins. That much I've noticed. And every time I see what she puts up, I'm like, ooh, I like this. Ooh, I never heard about this. So Thank you very much for letting me know if you ever watch this episode. So yeah, that's one of my stash enhancements. Yesterday on Tuesday, I made my first visit to the Knitting Loft in quite some time, since last year. I have not been there for so long. I think maybe October last year was the last time I was there. Yes, because it was after the grand reopening. That's when I had gone there. So, one of the things that had happened, actually, yeah, I'll start with these first. I needed, because I'm doing these, the socks, and they're not self-striping, and it's harder to keep track of where you are in the sock pattern. I usually use light bulb stitch markers. Let me just show you what I mean exactly. Like those kind of stitch markers. It was a suggestion from Kay, the crazy sock lady. And I think I've also heard Natalie from Love and Stitches talk about that as well. Hold on a second. So therefore, I thought it was a good idea. Majority of the time I didn't need to do that because I was always dealing with like self-striping, or I was dealing with patterns. So keeping track of how many rows you're doing with this, with stitch markers, was not really needed for me. But I realize now that I'm doing a lot more vanilla, like tonal type of socks where you can't guarantee that anything is going to match. I need more, because I'm down to like my last few, which I almost finished using up for these socks. I still need more for that. So when I went to the Knitting Loft, I bought these stitch markers from Coco Knits. Let me just show you the bottom. Can you read that? Yeah, Coco Knits. So they are multicolored stitch markers. I didn't need them to be colorful, but that's always a fun, whimsical thing to do. So I got more stitch markers to be able to use for those. So, yay. When I went there, I also, I went there to get one skein of yarn, which is, this is from Mondim, surprise again. This one, the colorway is called 119. This is their black basic colorway. I got a project in mind for this. It shouldn't be too much of a problem. Don't worry, I'm not knitting an entire pair of socks or anything like that. But I needed to get this for a project that I'm going to be working on soon. So that's been added. I went in and I was very surprised because as soon as I walked in, I said hi, talking to the people who work there. I miss them. I so miss them. But I had, out of the corner of my eye, I had noticed a wall and all of the labels looked the same. And I'm like, that was never there before. I'm like, that looks like the logo for TKL. So I was then informed, oh yes, we have our own house brand. And I was just sort of like, what? When did this happen? So then I realized I was not just going to be buying one skein or ball of yarn. I was going to be leaving with more. So I picked up one color. Honestly, I love this. And this isn't even usually my color, but I think it's going to be one of those things where I would buy at least one of everything whenever I needed a solid. So let me show it to you. So this is the Knitting Loft yarn. The base is called Boots, which is an 80% superwash merino and a 20% nylon. The colorway is called Coral Pink. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with it, but I can see it being a very nice lace pair of socks. I could see it being cabled. I can even see it being solid. Most likely that part will not be the case though. So yeah, like it's a, hold on, how many yards? 387 yards, right? So I am looking forward to using that. They also have another one. I didn't keep track of exactly what it is, but it looked like something that, what's it called? I can't remember. I'll have to look it up. I'll try and put in a little thing for what it is. But for every single color that they have in their fingering base, they also have the alternative to go along with it. So that makes it great for any of your, I can't even say basic colors because they have a lot more than basic colors. I swear I saw, it felt like there were like 40 different colors and they're all solids, or as close to solids as you can get with hand dyeing process. I'm looking forward to using this. I haven't quite decided. I know, well, here's an idea. I know this year there are people who are doing a rainbow knit along, so to speak. So basically every month is a different color that they're supposed to knit with. I may end up doing that and probably just using all of the yarn for that, because right now I'm holding this and I don't really want to let it go. It might be every time I go there I pick up 1 or 2 skeins and just keep it in my stash for this project for next year. That sounds like a great idea. Ooh. And then I have my 52 weeks of socks book. Maybe I can do something out of that. Oh, these ideas are just coming out of mine. Okay, so I have a very tentative plan. This is going to require a what's it called? It's going to require a planning session for that to work. So the other item that I purchased is this. Nope, not that one. I purchased a book called Amirisu. At least I don't know exactly how it's pronounced, but I had since I finished my Sweater by BERYL last week, I had seen that they said, oh, there's another pattern of her in Amirisu. So I said, okay, let me go and look. Oh, I found it. And then I decided, okay, so I looked at the price of it. I'm like, it's not that much more expensive than just going to the store to buy it. And once you pay for shipping anyways, it's going to work out to being the same. So hold on. Let me just get to the page where this pattern actually is. Okay. I don't know. Can you see that nicely? But I'll try and see if I can find another nicer picture to put up. But yeah, I took one look at this and I'm just like, what? I love this. And I'm still flipping through the book, which is this one. This is issue 22. There's spring, summer 2021. I usually don't buy, oh, hold it. Oh, sweet. I was about to say I usually don't buy physical books. I usually just buy like digital patterns, like individual patterns, or if they have bundles. But guess what? I just got a digital download coupon that was in the back of the book. Okay, I might make use of that. All right, so I'm looking forward to this. I'm going to be going through it and seeing what else is there. It might switch which pattern I want to do next for sweater-wise. 106. Let me just double check. I honestly, I really have not gotten a chance to look through this, but I just want to see what weight of yarn for that pattern is. It's fingering. Oh yeah, I should be perfectly fine for this. I got my new sweater. I'm most likely going to be changing it, but I am excited. So that is the next one that I got. And I also got a gift while I was there. So it's actually a book I was looking for quite some time, and I wasn't able to get it because by the time I finally decided, yes, I do want to do this. And I knew the Knitting Loft had the book too, but by the time I got there and like I finally decided I was going to do it, and I got there, after, like, I swear it was months of looking at the sweater and all that kind of stuff, this book was gone. So I decided, okay, I'll just buy it on Ravelry. Ravelry doesn't have it for sale. It's called either you buy the book or nothing. So guess what? I said, all right, I guess I'm just not going to be able to do it. But then I was gifted this. This is the book that I needed because of one pattern that I saw. That, ooh, there's note pages in the back. Sorry, I have not looked through it yet. This was a pattern that I saw that I wanted to knit. And for this one, that would mean I'd need the book because I couldn't find any other way to get it. And now I have the book. So thank you so much for giving me this book. I was so shocked, but I am so looking forward to working to this one too. So for this one, I'm gonna have to look to see. I am loving this. I'm gonna have so much fun. I think I have at least 2 sweaters that I will be doing. Plus I'm definitely still gonna get that other one I was talking about from last week, the Wool and Honey. I will still be doing that. So that's 3 sweaters. Maybe 1 more for this year and then 2 for next year for sure. We'll have to see. So that is everything. Yeah, the only thing I'm waiting for is my mud punch yarn. And a note was sent. And Canada Post, you're making me wait far too long. I I'm getting antsy. I think I checked my mailbox like just yesterday alone because I'm like, this feels like it's been taking a long time. I checked it like 4 times because the postman or woman, I think it's a guy, the postman comes anywhere in the range of like 2 to 4 o'clock. Sometimes it's earlier. Like I've seen him show up at like 11, and then other times I don't see him show up till 4:30. So I checked intermittently, and every single time nothing was there. Nothing was in the mailbox. And then by the time my aunt came home at like 4:30, she comes and she drops something on the table, and I'm like looking, is it? No, it was a bill for my mother. And I'm just sort of like, Canada Post, please hurry up. You're taking a long time. And I can't track it. I don't know where it is. It's not like, I think it's because I've been spoiled by things like Uber Eats and Skip the Dishes, where you could follow the little truck going across the map to know exactly where things are. This is making me impatient. I just want to know where it is and if I'm gonna get it soon. Oh gosh, first world problems. So I think that is actually everything for all of my knitting stuff that I wanted to talk about. See what other stuff, just chit chat wise. Thinking. Well, I'm trying this thing called time blocking. I've heard about it before, and I kind of inadvertently did it myself when I was like in high school and I was studying for like an exam, and it was like and I had a lot of homework to do that weekend. And I don't know why I just decided to just set alarms on my phone. No, probably was not on a phone because I did not have a cell phone back then. But either way, I just kept everything according to a schedule for the day. And I felt like I got so much done. And honestly, by nature, I realized this about myself, if I leave myself with no schedule, so to speak, there's not much that I will actually get done. So I decided I was going to try time blocking. I've been doing, that was a crack. I've been doing it since Sunday, and I feel like I've actually done quite a bit. Like in preparing for things, so it doesn't seem like so much of a surprise. Like even take recording this. I wasn't technically supposed to start this according to my schedule until 1 o'clock. I started recording this at about 11:40. Why? Because I managed to get the stuff I needed to do this morning done a lot faster, because they're like, hold on, but I need to get something done, and time-wise it works out better if I just do this and this at the same time, because I could. And I'm like, well, I have nothing to do for this big old time block. Let me get this done. So I decided I might as well just get it done earlier than expected and try and be ahead of schedule for the day. And by doing that, I will free up more time to work on my socks. Trying to figure out where the bad thing is with that. So it's working pretty good, but mind you, this is only on like a week and a half. So I've got pretty much this week planned out. I'm staying pretty good on schedule. So then I started planning out for next week. So far, I'm not hating it, and I'm hoping it will stay like that. We'll have to see how things go, and I'll try and update you next week on how it's going. Let's see what else. Oh, I forgot one thing. So since I finished my other socks, I decided I was gonna, as I was prepping my yarn for sock camp, no, not sock camp, summer, what is it? Oh gosh, my mind is going out. So as I was preparing my yarn for Sock Week 2021, I think I did that on either Thursday or Friday, I decided I might as well, since I had everything out, I'm gonna wind the yarn for the Veroni socks. Those are the cat socks. Yeah, so I wound it, and as I was winding it, I realized my ball winder really doesn't like me right now. I still haven't figured out exactly why it's doing what it's doing. However, it's preferring to throw the yarn somewhere else and try and get the yarn stuck in its gears. So I kind of put it on a timeout. This is the nice part of it. And while this is technically usable, I kind of wanted to divide it up into 2 skeins. That was my plan. I'm going to have to do that by hand now because like this is still attached to the ball winder because it was frustrating me so much. So I'm just going to put that back over there before I get mad. The yarn is fine. It's the ball winder that's not working for me. I think it could just be the setup of what I'm using for the ball winder. Like where that and the Swift are located, that could be the problem, but I have not figured it out exactly. It's just frustration. So I'm leaving it off to the side. I will deal with it once I finish with my current socks that I'm working on. I'll sit down there and I'll just do it by hand and leave it at that. I've also realized I need to take some time to sort my yarns that I finished with. Like I have 2. Yep. Is this a 2 or a 3? I am not sure. Okay. And then, all right. So these are all yarns from leftover parts of socks that I've finished. None of these have made it into my blanket, but they need to be put away. So I'm gonna also have to spend the time to wind these up into little balls, use them for my blankets, and just put them away because it's starting to get much. It didn't fit into the little bowl that it was sitting in before. It was starting to overflow. That's my next task. Yeah, I'll get on that soon. I think that is everything. I think that's really everything. See, I'm trying to think if there's anything personal wise. Well, if you want to, you can also, I remember, I'll put the link for it at the bottom for my year of projects. I made mention of it last week. And I think I'll just put a link to the blog itself as opposed to each individual entry. So I put up week number 2 on Sunday that just passed. I'm working, and because of my time blocking, I've already started working on week number 3. I'm proud of myself. So yeah, and that's going pretty good so far. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I discovered a new podcast yesterday. Popped up. Thank you very much, YouTube algorithm. Let me just pull it up so I can get the information correct. So I discovered yesterday the Best Day Ever Crafting Podcast. I have never heard of this podcast before. It's never once showed up on my feed. And I'm just there like, this is exactly what, like, I watched it and I think within 5 minutes I'm there like, okay, you gotta like. I watched probably about another 15 minutes. Okay, I've got to subscribe. I watched it all the way to the end and then I commented. Like, I love this podcast. It's actually really great. So she is a knitter. She does sock knitting as well. She's an overall crafter from what I've managed to gather. She sews as well. Really, I like the stuff that she's sewing. Makes me actually want to take my sewing machine out of its box. Yes, I got one last year and it's still in the box. I haven't taken it out once. She sews. She also has a journaling shop. So like stuff like stickers and productivity stuff. And I'm like sitting down there. I'm like, that's like one of my other hobbies. I just moved it digitally instead of having the book. I'm like sitting down there like, why didn't I find out about this? And it's not like she just showed up like a couple of weeks ago. She's on episode 59. She's been around for a while. Oh my gosh. Anyways, her podcast is great. I'll try to remember to put a link underneath if you do want to watch her. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that episode immensely. So I'm looking forward to the next episode when that does happen. I'm trying to think what else. I honestly think that is, yeah, I really do think that's everything. I think I've gotten everything covered that I wanted to talk about. So I'm going to leave it at there. Have a good day. Thank you for spending your crafting time with me, and I hope to see you again next week. I was gonna say tomorrow. No, not tomorrow. Next week. Bye.